Hey, welcome back to the channel. Tony here. Today I'm going to do a short video on installing a remote start system in a 2020 Ram 2500 Cummins diesel truck. So if you stay with me here, I'll kind of go through some of the steps to get you from A to B, getting this remote starter installed. And if you like the video or any of my videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. Appreciate all of you. Okay, here's a picture of the vehicle we're going to be working on today. The Ram 2500 Cummins diesel 2020. We're going to be using the Start X remote system on here. I'm going to grab a picture of it so you can see it. Here you go right here. This is the Start X remote starter kit for the Ram 2500, 3500, 2019 plus. Okay, once you get the kit, you can open it up. You get a little brochure, a couple of instructions in it here. You're going to get your USB chip that you're going to be programming. You're going to get your module right here. Comes with the module. Comes with a little pry tool, which you're going to use over here to pry off your switch, your light switch. And then you get the full wiring harness that we're going to be installing today. So first thing you're going to do today is get underneath the driver's side, and you're going to see two bolts underneath. You see my finger. You're going to see one here, and you're going to see one here. First thing you're going to do is remove those two bolts to get this panel out, and that's going to be with a 7mm socket or wrench. And once you get these off, we finish getting this one off here, drop it down. This panel here is going to come down. So what I like to do, you can use the pry tool bar they gave you. You're going to get it in, you're going to kind of pull it down a little bit, and it'll come right out. So just give me 1 minute, I'm going to need two hands. Okay, you're going to see now you can go ahead and pull this down. I just had to pry it down a little bit. Now that you got this panel down, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move this switch here. So I'm going to need two hands. I'll show you how to do that. You're going to pry this out like so. So just give me a sec. I'll get that one out also. Okay, pry it around each one of the corners here with the pry tool, and then you'll be able to pull this off like so, and then this is going to come down. And what we're doing now is we're exposing two things. You're going to expose the CAN auxiliary. So if I get my hand in here, we're going to need to use one of these green empty spacers in the CAN for the wiring harness. So I'll show you that in a second. Second thing we're going to need to do is get up in the key area up in here. And you're going to need to see up here, there's a key switch, okay? And that key switch is with this wiring harness, okay? So you see it up top in here. If you can't see it, I'll get the camera in there a little closer. Okay, I got the camera repositioned up here. You're going to see my hand going up here. And you're going to see a connector right here. That connector you're going to pull out, that's the ignition switch. It's gray right here. That one right there. You're going to pull that out, and then you're going to connect your wiring harness to it. And I'll show you that right now. Okay, you're going to see I got the wiring harness now. I took it out of the bag, and what you're going to see is you've got two ends to this wiring harness. You got a T here, and on the opposite end you got a couple other switches that are going to go into the CAN and into your remote box once we get to that step. So the first step is getting your T, and we're going to run this underneath up into the ignition switch, right? And you're going to plug one end into the ignition switch and then one end into the wire, and that's going to connect your T into the ignition switch to give you power for your control box. So give me a second. I'm going to get up under there and disconnect it and reconnect it and show you what it looks like. Okay, you're going to see in my hand here, I've got the connector, okay? I disconnected it from the ignition switch, which is right above it. Now what you're going to do is grab your T handle and plug the female end into it and the male end back into the ignition switch. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, here's my wiring harness now. You're gonna see up top, I've got it connected right here. So now I got this end left, and that's gonna go back into the ignition switch in the back of the key. Okay, y'all, I got a better light up in there now so you can actually see the ignition switch. So you're gonna see the ignition switch right now in that gray. And we're going to put the black connector into that gray empty box. Okay, now you're going to see up in here, this gray ignition wire is connected. You got your T right here. Now you got your T coming down, and now we're going to work on connecting that. And your wiring harness, you're going to see here you've got 3 connections about midpoint, and then you've got this long connector, which is the CAN connector. This CAN connector is going to go behind the headlight switch. You're going to route it up into one of the open green slots. It can be any one of these open green slots. So what I'm doing now is wiring it through. I'm going to put the camera down and I'll put it in if you give me 1 second. Okay, you're going to see that I got the wiring harness in here and put it in this green connector. Okay, now you got to get your module out. You're going to see you got a blue connection, a couple of white connections, and on the back you've got your black connection here. You've got your black reset button right here. So per the instructions, and again, make sure you're reading your instructions. I'll cover that at the end. Get out your manual, and it's going to tell you exactly how to program this particular unit by holding the black button when you're connecting these wires and what LEDs need to be lit as you're programming it. So I won't cover all the programming. It's in the instructions, and I'm going to kind of skip that step and go finish the rest of this installation for you, and then I'll get back to it. So at this point in the video, I've gone ahead and completed steps 1, 2, and now I'm going on to the next section of programming the actual module. You'll see the module is connected, and I'll tie it all up when I get done. I want to finish the programming here in the instructions, and then we'll go from there. Okay, now I've gone down every step here. I've set the ignition to off. I've disconnected my black box, and now I'm going to head into the house so I can connect the black box with the USB connection, which you'll see here, to my laptop so I can do the programming. At this point, we are going through the programming in steps 8 through 11 on the laptop by downloading the WebLink desktop software and continuing with the extended programming. You'll see I've done that on the PC. Flash is completed successfully. It's pretty easy. Now I'm going to disconnect it and go put it back in the vehicle and test it for operation. Now I'm back in the vehicle. I'm going to reconnect all my connectors to the box, and I'll follow the last step, which is the test. Okay, I've got it all connected now. Now I'm going to turn the ignition on 1 time. Light turned green for 2 seconds. Okay, you'll see right now I got the button. Now I'm going to hit it 3 times, the lock button 3 times, and this vehicle should start. Got power. Looks like it's going through the preheat cycle first. It's a little cold here where we're at today. There you go. Installation complete. Everything works. So now we've tested it. We've got it complete. I'm just going to go ahead and take some zip ties, and I'm going to zip tie all these wires up, and then I'll just put the panel back on, put the light switch back in, and we will be completed with this installation. Thanks for watching my video. I hope that was helpful. Make sure you follow the instructions complete step by step, and if you have any help, they've got a pretty good help manual in here. If you go to their website on StartX, I'd call that a pretty beginner to intermediate installation. It wasn't too hard. Appreciate you watching the video, and again, Tony here. Like and subscribe.